Hello there. Welcome to the summit. I'm so happy to be here. My name is Alexis Mantione, and maybe you haven't seen me around, but I am the creator of My Two Ladies, founder of My Two Ladies Knitting, and what this My Two Ladies is based upon is I invented and patented a new knitting needle, type of knitting needle. Here it is. And it is called the adjustable knitting needle. So I'm going to talk to you about that a little bit more as we go down on the road. And first of all, I would like to tell you this is not my usual place for doing videos. I'm actually sitting on the floor in a bedroom in my home because we are in the middle of moving. So I got a little bit out of sorts. I'm a little bit late. All of these things, I'm moving, my son's getting married. We have a lot going on, and yeah, I kind of lost it a little bit. So anyway, aside from that, we're going to have a really nice time here. And I will explain to you a few things, chat, so you can learn to know who I am and my values and what where I see the knitting and fiber arts community hopefully moving towards. And again, the lighting's not good, all of the above, and please forgive me for that. So I'll do my best under these circumstances. If you hear banging, we don't know what that is. It's downstairs, and I'm not going to notice what that is. So, let's see here. I have a little bit of an agenda here, which I usually don't have kind of agendas. I just kind of speak. But I am going to just speak and make sure that I hit the points that I should be. So anyway, a little bit about me. I live in Long Island. Jessica lives in Long Island, but I only met her, I don't know how long it has been, maybe a year, 2 years. Anyway, I absolutely adore her. I didn't meet her in person yet, but we don't live far away. But I absolutely adore her, and I'm so glad she asked me to come on here. She's just terrific, and the summit, it didn't start yet, of course, but I know it's going to be terrific, and I will say she's so organized. So, without further ado, I'm from Long Island, as I said. I have a son that's getting married in a couple of months, which is wonderful. And so I'm talking a little bit about how did I get involved in knitting and crocheting. Everyone has a story. I find that usually it's kind of generational. So, but I'll tell you about my little story, which I think is very heartfelt. So, I come from Queens, and my grandma and grandpa, they come from Italy, and that's where they lived also. So, myself and my cousins, and we would always go there. A really traditional Italian family. You go there for, pasta and chocolate cake on Sundays and all of that. So anyway, but my grandma never learned to speak English. Even till the day she passed. She never spoke English. Now, I never spoke a word of Italian. Maybe a couple of words. A couple of words. That's about it. So, we did somehow communicate, aspett, which is, wait a minute. So that's all I kind of remember. Like, wait a minute, aspett. So, she used to crochet a lot, and knit. But she used to make, I don't know, there were like 12 of us girls, grandkids, and, every holiday it was making ponchos, crocheted ponchos for the dolls, with matching ponchos for us, and we just, we had so many wonderful things from our grandma. So, what happened? I think I was the only one of us that really kind of wanted to, I was fascinated with it and I wanted to learn. And she would be seriously walking around the kitchen, walking around, she was always doing something. So we sat down, she pulled me over, and yes, I wanted to learn. So that's how it's, that's just how it started. And I was between like 8 and 10 by the time we were getting more going, and we still never spoke Italian to Italian, English to English. We spoke through our hands and through our knitting needles and through our crochet hooks. And she was also a sewer. I also sew, and I got all of this. I called her grandma. I know it's Nona, but I called her grandma, and I don't know what she thought I was calling her, but that's how I got started. And at the time, I didn't realize how this would change my life and how this would fulfill my life, because that was just a natural a thing. I grew up with it, and we all had like these toilet paper holders on the back of our tanks where it's a little doll and you put it on top of the toilet paper. You might remember those things, and that's really how it started. So I took off. I didn't make like things you could wear. I did make a poncho though, actually once. And I would go there and she would help me. And how would she help me? She would grab my hands, or no, or whatever. And I'm really fortunate that I had that opportunity to bond with grandma and to take it this far. And this just popped in my head. This is not something I was going to talk about, but it's really interesting. So when I turned 50, I went and looked up like my family that's all in Italy. They didn't know anything. They didn't know anything about me. They knew about my grandma and grandpa who came from there. And I just looked them up, and I kept searching and searching and searching. And finally, for my 50th birthday, I went there. I went to Italy with my husband and my son. And again, they're from a little village, and no one spoke English. And we don't speak Italian. But we became. And it's so interesting because in this little village, like the old traditions, they are still alive. And they would come out and show me like they saw me, certain things before I even had my business. They would see that I was on Facebook or whatever with my knitting needles. It was usually knitting. I grew to more like knitting. And it was like, oh, and they would start taking stuff out of their chest and give them to me. Look, maybe they said look, whatever, but I got the idea. And again, it was such a connection. It was another connection that this wonderful new community, my community in Italy, my family in Italy, that had this wonderful thing they're able to do with their hands and make and show love. So I wanted to share that with you because it just seems important and nice. So I talk a lot, and I have to really get moving on. So next, I will tell you a little bit about this. So anyway, my invention. As I said, I retired. I just retired. And I had more time then to do my knitting, right? So I went across the street. There was a knitting shop, whatever. So I always wanted to make a big knit blanket for a king-size bed. And I never had time to do that, right? So I got all my stuff together. I bought some yarn. I was sitting at the table with, I just walked in there. And I was making this blanket. And I brought it with me, and I'll show you. So this is the blanket, right? King-size blanket, but it's still not a king-size blanket. It's a work in progress. This is something I use that I bring with me when I go to trade shows, or, I do talks, and I go to guilds and all of that. I love to talk. And so I don't ever work on it anymore other than those places. So again, I'm sitting on the floor. This is a little weird. But anyway, um, so let's just think about this. How are you going to make this big blanket? This is only like a fifth done. I mean, I'm talking big and bulky. These are 19 needles. So I'm going along and I'm making this on circulars. So think to yourself, what problems am I having with that? What problems? A lot of problems. That's what I was having. A lot of problems. So heavy, right? So heavy. When the stitches are all falling down to the middle of the circular needle, right? I mean, so heavy. Twisting, turning. You had to keep, reaching down to get your stitches up to the needle point, right? Up to the needle point. And they all slide down. So let's talk about that. So, okay, after a few days more of doing this, I was seriously ready. I would just say that. I'm seriously ready to throw this out the window. Not fun anymore. Really not fun. I was getting aches and pains in my wrist. I had no issues whatsoever. I didn't have arthritis, but yet it was so difficult. So I'm not an inventor. I was not an inventor. I am an inventor. And I was not really a business person. So I don't know. I just got up and went and grabbed a few tools and a few like circular needles, and the idea popped in my head. Inventors sometimes do this. They just have this, idea. And I went and I cut a circular needle in half. And I just had this idea. I did a few sketches while I was sitting there. And I put together this adjustable needle. I'm going to show you. I am going to show you. And I put together this adjustable needle, which I called it an adjustable needle afterwards. So the idea of this needle is, I guess I should show you now. Should I show you now? I'm going to show you. Okay, so anyway, let's look at this. Wait, I lied. Let's look at this. So for instance, think of the problems you're having when you have such a big project. And it's not even the project. It's also the amount of stitches. That's the other thing. And I'm going to show you on a shawl also. So it's the weight and it's the number of stitches. That's where these needles are magical. So I wanted something that was going to make it easier, quicker, less hassle, and most importantly, I can't keep putting this on my hands. My hands were I was not doing well. So anyway, yes, I made them, and people they wanted to buy them from me. And I would say, I can make it for you. It doesn't necessarily look so pretty, but if you want, I can do that. It's not going to be cheap because I have to buy these two sets of this and whatever to make it. And people, they just wanted to buy it. So as I'm going along, they're saying, again, I did not think in a business sense, like, oh, I'm going to get a patent. So you really need to patent this, Alexis. And I was like, well, I read about it and saw what it was, and I did go for it. I did go through this whole big thing, big learning curve, business learning curve, went then to school, to classes to learn about all of this. And it did all happen. I did become successful with this. That does not mean I'm rolling in money. Let's get that clear. That is not what that means. But it's a very, makes you feel wonderful, and you just want to talk about it all the time. So here, I'm just going to show you quickly, and then I'm going to get back to some more information that I'm going to tell you. So you'll see I'm here, right? And I'm just knitting along. And that looks totally normal, whatever. And you'll have to excuse my pieces. As I said, people test on these also, so they're not exactly beautiful. But here we go. Look at this. 2 needles, not a circular needle. Here's one, right? And it has this long cord. And here's the other with, it's 20 inches, this one, this particular version, with this long 20-inch cord, and you see, can you see everything that's on here? But yet, I'm completely comfortable. So, I'm going to give you an example. As you're knitting, usually, what do you have to do with all those stitches that fall down to the bottom? You're using more repetitious hand movements, because you have to keep going down and pulling them back up, right? But here, guess what? No, look at this. What happened? All your stitches are where you want them. Did you see that? All your stitches are, there you go, right up here. So you're just knitting. You do not have to pay attention to, again, pulling up, pulling down, pulling up, pulling down. So that is the magic. The other one, the other side that holds all of them, well, they can just fall down as you wish. You don't have to play with this other side because it doesn't matter. It just goes down. And that is it. There's no more flipping. There's no more sewing strips of material together. This is a very quality product. All really good woods and solid brass. It turns, it rotates. So that's kind of the story of the knitting needle. But I have so many stories to tell you. I see I have like 4 minutes left. Maybe I'll make it 5. Yeah. So anyway, my brand grew and I became very involved with hand health. So that is now the Good for Your Hands brand. That's what we are. And I'll tell you, I always have stories. I have another story, and this is the God's honest truth, what happened. So it was about 3 months before COVID, the day after Christmas, and I was walking in Manhattan, and unfortunately, I'm sorry, I just did that. I'm getting all these messages. I just had a pretty serious accident. I had a pretty serious accident. So I had a surge on my right arm, my dominant arm. Yep. So I had to have all kinds of rods and pins and you name it. So I really was out of commission for about a year, believe it or not. Who would think that this could happen just from a fall? But it was pretty bad. So anyway, wound up that I have, and to this day still have, permanent nerve damage, right? So if for those of you that have nerve damage, you know what that's about. It's not fun. They really thought I wasn't going to be able to knit again, but anyway, I found myself a therapist that was a knitter, and we just hit it off, and I told her about my needles, and I told her how I wasn't able to knit anymore. I couldn't hold the needles. I would drop them. I couldn't grab them. It was so small. You know when you have circulars, they're not long. They're small, and your hands are crowded, and it was just, it was no good. Finally, after time, when I say time, like a year maybe, I was able to knit enough where I could do more than 5 minutes. And as time went on, I'm back again. I'm a little bit, I'm not as good as I was, of course, but I understand hand health now. And I understand what is good and what is bad. Of course, this is just for me, but this is what, I have gone through myself. So, there are so many people out there, I don't know if you're one of them, that have hand issues, and it really stops you from doing what you want to do as far as your craft of knitting or crocheting. It's so important. It's so important that you take care of your hands before anything happens. And when I say anything happens, I don't mean you're going to get in an accident. I mean from all the repetition, your hands, you do a lot of damage to your hands. So you need to do, I say these are your most important tools. Your hands are your most important tools. You need to take care of them. I'm really lucky. I'm fortunate that I can, knit. I can't do everything, but honestly, these needles have saved me. And somebody was looking down on me because, like I said, when I invented them, I had no hand injuries or anything like that, right? So, I think I'm supposed to say this. So, just so you know, when you go and if you sign up for my, I don't even know if this is the right time I'm supposed to say this, but I'll say it. When you sign up for my hopefully mailing list, you go to my website and sign up to be on the mailing list, and I will see that you did that. And then I'm going to email you a copy of a cheat sheet. I used this with my therapist, not that she gave it to me, but I just found something online that it really was terrific. It was easy, it was clear and concise, and it was on one page. And anyway, so I always share this. It is terrific. Use it before you get hurt, before you need it, before you knit. Use it after you're done knitting. It doesn't take time. 5 minutes. And you will be very happy. Please take care of your hands. Take care of your wrists. It's very important. If you're having pain, try to stop. I know many of you have businesses, and believe me, I do understand that. But try to take care of your hands as well as you take care of your tools, your other tools, right? So, there we have it. And I know I'm cheating. I can't believe I'm using this little cheat sheet here for myself. But as I said, I've been crazy at home. So the other thing I want to talk about, and I'm doing this as fast as I can. So anyway, sign up. All the information for where to sign up and websites and groups and all of that will be somewhere here online. And I'm kind of combining two talks into one. So I'm just doing this one talk. And I'll throw this in also. I am a huge believer of community. So the fiber arts community. To me, it means so much. I think the community has the greatest, kindest, most wonderful people. And I say also that I think of my friends, that if we are friends, I've had a lot of support. And yet, most of them I've never really met in person. But, people will call me crazy. But no, it's just a community of helping. And so I stress that. Join my Facebook page. It's Create and Relate on Facebook. Okay, why am I moving around? Because I'm sitting on the floor and I'm aching. So Create and Relate. It's more than it's chatting. It's fiber arts people, non-fiber arts people, but mostly fiber arts people, and people with small businesses or people, at home businesses, or I don't know, you're selling something else that's not related. So for small businesses, what I do is I encourage you all to get on there and you can promote your stuff. And I ask that you don't send it over to other platforms, but you can promote your stuff. You can tell us what you're doing. You can show us what you're doing. We all support each other. It's amazing. So I have this Create and Relate group, and it's just a really friendly and wonderful group. You don't have to spend a lot of time there. I don't generally teach any type of classes. It's not that I'm a master knitter. I am somebody that loves to knit. I love the community. And I just want to share what I can that I am familiar with other people. And, all right, here we go again. Blah, blah. Da, 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 da. Okay. The next thing I will say is, so you will see me in the fiber arts community, maybe at trade shows or talks or whatever. I talk about how collaboration is key. That's my thing. That's what I talk about. So here you have a person, myself, with no business experience, no connections, all of that. And yet I was able to still stay in business and have nice relationships. And what I always talk about is collaborating. Collaborating is good. Collaborating is not taking business from somebody else, or collaborating is not, um, it's a positive thing. And it's very important to get those relationships and to mean what you're doing. Somebody helps you, you help them. Somebody doesn't help them, you help them. It goes around. And I definitely feel that that is what kept my business going. It is not easy to have a small business. It is very difficult, regardless of what type of background you come from. So, by collaborating and being kind and helping people and wanting to help people, you will see the rewards that you will get inside as well as outside. So, I do highly recommend that. I really encourage it. And I'm sure most of you are doing that anyway. It's just a wonderful community that we have. So I'm showing you one last thing super quick because I forgot to do it. But I just want to show you, this is my shawl that I'm showing you. It's also for small, um, lightweight products also. And the idea is, when you're looking at this, again, don't mind all this mess. It's a sample that people work on. I mean, there's hundreds of stitches here, hundreds. And it's the same idea. There you go. Where are they? They're all right up here. And that's the ease of this. Push them down. It's so quick, so easy, great for your hands. So all the products, most of the products, many of the products are designed by me. And most of them are made in India. Many handmade. And all created or sold or created. They are all ours, with hand health in mind. That is what is important, and that is what's going to keep you going. And I have people still do use the telephone. They call and they say they don't know me again. This is because this is the community. Is this Alexis? Yes. I just want to tell you, I want to thank you for letting me buy your needles. Now, how crazy is that, right? So you're thanking me, for paying for my needles. So what does that mean? They're telling me I was not able to knit. I have bad arthritis. I thought I'd never knit again. It's been how many years? I am now knitting. Not kidding you. Not kidding you. I have people that call me, again, on the telephone, that call me and say, these are the most terrific needles. I'm so happy you invented them. Just they give you that feedback, and they are genuinely, they're just happy about it. And I'm happy. I'm so happy to share this. So, there was Way, Create, and Relate. That was the last thing. Oh, and of course, I'm sharing Go to Knit Happy on Facebook with for the whole the show here. There's so many things to do here, so many things to see at this particular show. And I'm going to be doing a Q&A also. That's my thing, where imagine how much I talk if somebody actually talks back to me. So I'm going to be doing a Q&A, which I'm really looking forward to, and I believe it's Saturday at 11. So I hope you join me. If you can't, that's fine. I'll see you at another place at another time. I really do hope you join my mailing list and my Create and Relate, Facebook, Instagram, all of those things. We do nice things for the community as far as just sales and in the know and all of that stuff. So I'm going to say goodbye. My butt's killing me from sitting on the floor all this time. And next time I see you, I will have been moved and not so crazy. So thanks for coming up, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.